So, I haven't made a standard, normal, boring old Nintendo Switch 2 rumor or leak video in quite a while. Partly because we're almost at the point where I find the topic a little bit boring, even though I want the Switch 2 more than pretty much anyone else out there. We're all dying and ready for the next generation from Nintendo. It's no secret. But we've gotten to a point where substantial information about it is pretty much non-existent, yet a lot of stuff still keeps getting discussed out there. It is what it is, and obviously I've made plenty of videos over the years about the Switch 2, so I'm not trying to claim to be perfect or anything, but I certainly have pumped the brakes on them for a while now. But I figured that this morning I would make this quick video discussion regarding something that is going around out there this morning claiming to be a leak, and it's certainly interesting, gets everyone excited. And I thought that it would be worth kind of discussing simply because I really just want to talk about it. I find it to be very interesting and more, I don't want to say believable, because believable is certainly not the word, but I don't know, more substantial, more worthy of discussion than a lot of what's been floating around out there the past couple of months. So the long and the short of it is that there seems to be a posting for a silicone Switch 2 cover or case, a protector for the Joy-Cons and the actual Switch 2 console and hardware itself. We've seen plenty of accessories like this for the current Switch. The idea of this is definitely not new, but in theory, this is showcasing the dimensions or maybe even a picture of the screen itself in the images of this silicone protector case. I first found out about this through a tweet from Stealth on Twitter, so I don't know what the true origin is beyond that. I'm not going to waste my time looking into it because I don't need to. Stealth is a good guy who knows his stuff, and when he shares something, it's pretty legitimate. So I'm just going to stick to following it through what he shared. And he shared a link to, I think, a Facebook store or maybe a Facebook story post or something. It's a link to Facebook. I'm not even going to waste my time clicking it because I'm not interested, but you can see it. You can go and find his tweet and follow the links if you want to. I'm sure plenty of other people have already made videos discussing these things because it is easy content for a video, and yes, I'm playing into that by making my own discussion, but again, I do find this to be kind of fascinating. So taking a look at this image here, if this is real images of a Switch and not like a CG render, you know, sometimes it's even hard to tell what's what when it comes to this. But looking at this again, if it's real, it could be very easy to be tricked and think that you're actually looking at the Switch 2 itself and that this would maybe be the default color. Now, some of you may know this, some of you may not. I am super colorblind, so I don't know if I'm looking at this silicone case and the color of the Switch here. I can't tell if this is white or pink or gray or light blue. And it might sound funny to you if you don't know how color blindness work, but for me, I don't even know what color this is. It kind of looks like a whitish, pinkish, maybe light blue. Either way, the point is, in looking at this, you could think that you're looking at the Switch 2, assuming this was real, and the actual default color of it. But as you look more into them, and especially if you scroll down to the bottom image, and I find this part to be maybe an indicator that this isn't a legitimate leak, because why would it be? Most leaks are fake nowadays anyway. But you can see what looks to be, the image is partially cut off, but it looks like it's the outer, this is the silicone shell of the Joy-Con without a Joy-Con in it. Now, the only reason I say this leads me to thinking maybe this could actually be fake is if this person was able to grab any screenshot of this, why wouldn't they have also shared a full screenshot of the actual silicone case itself without the Switch and the Joy-Cons in it? Why are we looking at only this cut-off image? You would think this would be, the full image here would be one of the most important images to grab and to share to the internet, but it's not. It's just this little cut-off piece, which is the kind of thing people who are making fake leaks do that really kind of showcases and exposes it as potentially fake. Either way, this is the image we have. This is the image we have to discuss and talk about and that people are looking at. You can see that it seems to have the same kind of kickstand as the Switch OLED, which makes me wonder, is this even a Switch OLED? Like, is this even a product that exists for Switches already? There's nothing that really shows you that it's a Switch 2. I believe that the conversation out there is claiming that the screen in this images is 8 inches, which kind of leads in with a lot of what we thought would happen with the Switch 2, that the screen itself would be bigger than the standard Switch or even the Switch OLED screen. And if that's true, that's certainly cool. I don't plan on playing it portably much when the Switch 2 comes out because I don't play portably, but a bigger, nicer screen is obviously great. So it would be cool if that's the case. But I don't know. I look at this and I can't really tell other than, you go back to the triggers of the Joy-Cons here. And these little buttons over here, they do match those like computer generated CAD drawings from months ago. And I did make a video discussing that, where it showed, assuming that these are magnet connections and not the rail system, that has been a long time rumor. These buttons here are kind of like a big button that in theory would separate the magnets. And this image of these, seemingly real Joy-Cons do have the same kind of buttons. So this is either a leaker who was very smart and made sure that they matched to those CAD drawings to make this seem legitimate, or there's the small possibility that all of this has been real, and these buttons are real, and the magnet system is real, and that we're looking at basically that in these images. So, yeah, this is the conversation. This is the quote-unquote leak that I'm not yet ready to actually call a leak myself, but again, it's fascinating. It looks fairly convincing. I think of all of the things that's been going around the past year of, blurry images and weird video and CAD drawings and all these things that claim to be, manufacturing plant or prototype versions of the Switch 2 and images of the Switch 2. This, even though we're only looking at apparently the silicone case for the Switch 2, not the unit itself, I don't know. I just have to give credit to at least this one looking more convincing. Now, if you've been following me for years, you know that convincing images of things does not make me believe it by default, okay? I was tricked, or I wasn't totally tricked, but I was kind of tricked and then subsequently mad about the NX controller 3D printing thing years ago, images of Rayman being in Smash Brothers, the Grinch leak thing for Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, the Nintendo Switch Online profiles that some 15-year-old kid made with video that looked very convincing. People can do and make anything nowadays and make it look real, especially if you're just looking at an image. One of the few times something turned out to be real, there are actually, now that I think about it, 2 times that something that has been like a leaked image actually turned out to be real. And one was the Switch Lite case. That was absolutely real, and so I was very skeptical, and it turned out to be a real image of the back casing for the Switch Lite. And then the other one was the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Switch OLED, the pictures of the box, and some of those images, the Zelda and Hyrule symbolism and that was all over those Joy-Cons. I was like, we've never seen this before in a Zelda game, so this to me, it would be so easy to make a fake box and make it look real. And so I wasn't really believing it, and that also turned out to be real. So I say this to say, I'm fully aware that whatever I doubt still could turn out to be real. But more often than not, when I've doubted things like the Grinch leak, like the Rayman Smash Brothers thing, and all these other ones, when I've doubted them, they've also turned out to be fake as well. So it's really tough to know for sure. I think the last point to even make here is that let's pretend for the sake of conversation that this is real. It's a real accessory, a silicone covering for the Switch 2, and that it is showcasing an 8-inch screen, and that I can't tell if these are like, computer-generated mock-ups or if these are supposed to be real images of the actual Switch 2 and the actual silicone case. But whatever it is, if this is just all real, okay, a real product and a real look at the Switch 2, then it's another example of the longer Nintendo waits to reveal this thing, the more stuff like this will get out there. And I say that again as somebody doubtful of even a lot of the prior leaks and images. There's even been blurry images and videos of stuff that's apparently Switch 2 footage the past few weeks that I haven't covered. You guys know and follow my channel. I didn't make a video about these things because it's like, come on, man, how real could this actually be? This is gimme, like, Leak 101 fake stuff on the internet. Like, you'd be silly to really pay too much attention to it. But this one, again, it felt worthy of discussion. And again, if it is real, all of these different things that have been happening over the past year, and now this one today, the day of the Game Awards, actually, Nintendo is like, yeah, they're just, the longer they wait, the more chances for stuff like this to get out there. So it has to make us wonder, when will they reveal it? I am not buying that the Switch 2 is going to be shown tonight at the Game Awards, I don't really buy that Nintendo's going to do anything significant at the Game Awards, even though we all want another Metroid Prime 4 trailer, and maybe a confirmed release date or something. Yes, I would lose my freaking mind. But I don't expect anything from Nintendo at the Game Awards. But, Does this convince them to reveal it before the end of the year, in the last 3 weeks here in December? I don't think so. I made a video about how I let go of 2024 many, many weeks ago. But I don't know. It's just one of those examples of the longer you wait, the more these things get out there. Even if they're fake, it's still getting stuff out there and having people talk about your mysterious Switch 2 device that you haven't shown to us. And maybe even fake leaks can eventually end up having a negative impact on the Switch 2, just as much as a real leak could, I don't pretend to know for sure. I don't work for Nintendo. I don't work in this industry or for these companies. But, as a gamer of 40 years, I look at this stuff, and that's just what I think. More than likely, early after the new year, Nintendo will reveal this thing. Is this a look at a Switch 2 accessory and the Switch 2 itself and the size of the screen? Maybe. Probably not, but maybe. And so, yeah, these are just some of my quick thoughts on this, and I wanted to share it with you guys and discuss it. Share what you think below. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time.